Welcome to the Commercial Gas Engineer channel. I'm doing a little tour of a plant room, and this is the BMS first. We're starting off, and we have a live supply there and a neutral supply. So it appears to be single phase. Then they got a lot of what looks to me like transformers. So here we have single phase coming in, and then you can see it converts to 24 volts DC. And then we also have another one down here, and then up here as well. So what they look like to me is transformers, but there may be different types of transformers, so I'll put in the comments if you know any more than that. I probably should look them up. And then what else do we have in here? We've got a lot of relays here. There's a lot of relays with their little bypasses on them. Don't flick these unless you're sure what you're doing. Relays everywhere. I don't see many contactors. And then this is the Schneider DDC controller, and you've got the digital outputs there in a normally open position, so when there's power to them they will close. So they're open, and then when power gets to them they close. And then up here, digital outputs, and then up here you've got universal inputs. This looks like for Modbus communication, and this looks like it's communicating with the field devices, and so is this as well. Local isolator, relays all over the place. These are breakers, so you can see what they're rated to. This one C2, C6 and C4. And that fan up there is not running, so it's not going to keep the panel as cool as it should be. And then here you have a few of the devices that are in there but out of position. So there is one of the relays. You can see the 24 volts there. So when you press it, you see that? What happens on the side? These are connections at the back. That side, it can tell you what it does. And then we have another relay here. Bypassed. Not bypassed. And there's what it does underneath, and there's one sitting in situ. And there's a connector up here. A dim rail that sits on. I'm going to start making some longer videos and talking through different scenarios. So here we're going to talk about the cold water booster set. On this cold water booster set, you've got a cold water storage tank, and you can see the two supplies with the butterfly valves. There's one here and there's one over there. Both have strainers on them, and then as it comes along, you can see that we've got electromag E400s, and then down here you have the cylinder, the blue cylinder, which is the treatment coil, or you can call it reactor. So this control panel here sends electromagnetic pulses to the pipe, the pipe works there, but around it you get the electromagnetic pulses for a coil. So it sort of alters the crystalline structures of the minerals, mainly calcium and magnesium. So it prevents limescale building up. So let's walk around here. Look at these huge pumps. They're impressive. I'm not gonna even touch them. I want to have a little look. They're Grumpfuses. I'm not going to put my hand on them because yeah, I'm not disturbing anything inside this building that I don't need to. So here they are from this side. The date is 18th of the 1st, 2012. You can see the pressure transmitter here. So this typically operates at 4 to 20 milliamps. Accuracy is quite sharp as well. Alright, then we come around here now as it leaves. So we obviously had it coming in from over there, and then it comes through and then gets boosted, and then we've got two expansion vessels. It's the year 2011, the 39th week since it's been in here. It's a 12 litre, pre-charged to 4 bar, but normally these would be charged to 0.5 less than what the system pressure set to. So this has been set to 6 bar, so I'm assuming this is 5.5 bar. And then over here we have another expansion vessel, and you can see the pipework there comes up, and they're both connected to the outlet of the system. And this is the check valve to stop backflow contamination, and it runs along here, comes along here. We have a water meter up here, then it comes here. It'd be nice if it was lagged here, and then it runs into the calorifier. You think it would rush into the building, but what it does, comes up here. It's got a chief purpose. One goes here to the right, and then you've got a butterfly valve, and then one goes over here. So have you seen one of these comfort pumps before? It's proper small. And then over here on this calorifier you have emergent elements. On this same pipework is a PRV, but very old. Look at it. This looks older than me, this PRV. They feed an 18 kilowatt 4-stage element, so it's 415. These are quite serious. Up on top of the unit, this is what you have. You have a temperature gauge, got another PRV up there, another gauge, and an AAV is the hot water return pipe, and this is the hot water flow, hot water service. Goes up here, it links up with the other unit, goes off here. What is this here? Not sure what that is. And there is, looks like there's an actuator there. So this is a J&J actuator, brass valve body. So that's the end of that service. Starting from here and working its way through this calorifier over here. But then I did miss one or two things on the calorifier now. We have a Belimo actuator. And then also, so we got what I believe is the flow and return from the boiler. And then we have, it's a commissioning and balancing valve. This is female, it's a female valve, as you can see. And same with that valve there. And then we go up here, and then we got our heating return and our heating flow. And then it goes over here. Then we got a meter and loads of valves, and then bellows, a pump which is obviously going that way, a Grumpfus Magna, and more bellows, strainer, and more butterfly valves. Butterfly valve, a nice fancy looking sleek butterfly valve. Bellows, a wheelo pump, strainer again. There's loads of strainers in here, which is good, and it goes over there. And then dirt and air separator, say Boss NBC. It's a bit corroded up here by the vent. And so we also have a temperature sensor here by Boss. It looks like it's working. And then the meter here has got an electronic meter as well. I don't know where these pipes are going. They've got heat and return, heat and flow there. They also run into the other calorifier. Got a bit of corrosion here. And so let's follow these back round, these two pipes back to the boiler. They come down here, then they go through this low loss header. And they've got gauges there, and I'm not sure what that is on top of there. Looks like a sensor, possibly a temperature sensor. It's got an AAB there. Then we've got some nice little valves here. There's a tap in here, I believe. Down the bottom here you can see a little tap in, and that tap in's got a drain off, and then it comes here, and it looks like we've got a quick fill. A quick fill from there. And then we also have our pressurization unit, direct feed. And then so we've got our flow and return going over that side. This is our pressurization unit on this side of the system, and then the expansion vessel right here. Spill kit, and we go on this side, and then we have, oh, it's interesting temperatures. One saying 42, one saying 76. And inside here you've got your plate to plate heat exchangers. They're well wrapped up. There you go, so you saw that. And then we saw our pipes come over, our heating flow and return, and they've got AAVs at the top, that's nice. And then they come down, and then here you got, this looks like a thermostatic mixing / temperature control. And here we have a pressure gauge. Then we've got a three-way valve. Then we come around here and we've got our pumps. They look rather dusty. And then we've got heat and return, heat and flow. It goes down here into the ground. And then that's when it must make its way to the boilers, or come from the boilers as its flow and return to the boilers. And that is mainly it in this plant room. There isn't much more than this. There's a few other little hidden elements. You can have a look in the cold water storage tank. Over here is a tank for the fire safety system for the sprinklers. So this is all for that. We have a little jockey pump here, I believe. And then this, I don't know why this is over here for on its own and separate. UV calorifier. Standard zone valve on there. An expansion vessel. Okay, another thing I didn't mention was this huge expansion vessel here. It's a giant. Not even sure where the tap in is. Maybe it's at the bottom. At least it's been lagged, and there's an isolation over there. Here it is. It's connected up to our calorifiers. This should really have a jacket on it. We've got our fire extinguishers here, and there is a safety mat underneath the BMS panel. There's a drain point down there. Okay, what we missed was this dosing pot, an X pot. So this wheel pump earlier that we saw is saying 7.0, maybe that's bar, and this one is saying 6.0. Nothing wrong with giving these a little to see if they're penetrating. And this appears to be the secondary return pump. So these round here, to me this looks like a top to bottom pump, but maybe you may hear something otherwise somewhere else, but this looks like, yes, a top to bottom pump. Wowza, look at this drain off. That's quite a chunky drain off, isn't it? It's quite meaty. Watch out for CCTV. Even more. There's a fault on this pump, and this one's okay. And this is the flow for heating flow. Oh, the central heating flow. Okay, so I somehow managed to miss this out. So this is the central heating flow. I've got another one of those valves, and then a meter that it runs off out of the building. So I forgot to mention this nice juicy drain off or tapping point there. That's nice. And okay, thank you for joining. Please leave comments in the section below if you have any information or anything that you disagree with or that I missed out.